Hello everyone. Today let's talk about time management. What is it, time management? Why do we care about it? And is it even different when it comes to medical sales? Within the last few weeks, I received actually 5 questions in regards to time management and efficiency in medical sales. And I decided to make this video for you guys to answer those questions. But first of all, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave me questions and comments below the video. Okay, let's talk about time management in medical sales. The main goal of time management is to increase efficiency and productivity. And that's the same in medical sales. We just need to talk about it in context of medical sales. Before I share with you some tips from my experience, I'd like to remind you that medical sales is not for everyone. It takes a special type of person to be able to work independently. Because medical sales work is not a typical 9-to-5 type of job, and I actually talked about it before in my previous videos. It doesn't have the structure of the day. Nobody really gives you the tasks list and tells you what to do and where to go, who to visit, and why. You need to be able to structure your day, structure your week, even a month, according to what needs to be done, according to a larger goal or larger target, but it's up to you to decide how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it. And you do not have solid deadlines set up by your management for medical sales. You do have some, but they're not as structured as in a typical corporate world, for example, or a typical academia world. When I talk to students about career opportunities and I tell them about medical sales, I can see how students get attracted by the job itself and by the higher income they could potentially earn and by the idea of working in medical industry. But I tell them that on top of all that, you need to be able to set your own goals. You need to be able to act on your own goals, and you need to be responsible and accountable in front of yourself before the management, before the sales director. Because it's important, it has to be self-motivated and self-generated. And I can see how people start having second thoughts about it. And that's okay. Again, not for everyone. But if you are self-motivated, if you know what you're trying to achieve, and you do know that you want to work in medical sales and you want to succeed, let me tell you 5 tips, 5 things that I do. And I think those things are helpful when it comes to medical sales in order to stay efficient, proactive, and productive. So tip number 1. Prioritize based on time urgency and money or reward potential. That's how I prioritize my products or projects I'm working on. Time urgency is very important because it's medical field and I work with surgical supplies. If something needs to be delivered by certain date for certain procedure, you definitely need to work on those types of projects or products at first. And second is priority based on money or reward. It's important because that's how salespeople are being evaluated in their job, and they have goals and targets set by the company, by the management, by sales directors, and you need to stay on track. So if you evaluate all the projects and products you have, you need to prioritize them based on potential reward and act on those of priority first. Very simple, but that's how I structure things and I go along and plan my days, weeks, months, and years to come. Tip number 2. I dedicate 1 day per week for organizational work. What I mean by that, I dedicate 1 day where I sit down and I write things down, what needs to be done, what I have done already, what was accomplished, what didn't work, what worked and why. It gives me time to prepare for my future meetings if I plan something for the next week. It gives me time to follow up on my previous meetings that I had in the week before. And it gives me time to work on any type of tasks and assignments that were given to me by the company, by the sales manager, sales director. It gives me time to plan my business and plan what's next and what steps I need to do. I think it's very important because it allows you to stay on track and increases your productivity. Tip number 3, Being in sales and being in medical sales, you get so many requests at the same time. You get emails, phone calls, and sometimes you get bombarded by different questions from different people, different projects, different places, depending on your territory, depending on what you do and the scope of your work. So tip number 3, do not delay responses and replies if you can. So if you receive an email and you are in between 2 meetings and you know the answer, write the reply right away. Otherwise, if you start to postpone it or delay it, you may forget about it, or maybe your competitor will reply quicker and they will get the contract or they will get the answer. So if you can reply right away, do it. If you can't, or you need to gather more information, or you're simply not available at this moment, write it down. Write it down right away so you have a list of things to follow up on, and this is how I'm able to keep all my tasks in planning, and I know what I need to do and when, and I can follow up on all the emails and phone calls. So write things down physically. And there is no better feeling when you actually scratch off the task that you've done and you've answered or emailed or replied. But yes, definitely, if you have a chance to reply, reply. If you don't have a chance, write it down. Number 4, if you are coming to a facility, either a clinic or hospital, and you have a meeting there, try to maximize your time in that facility. Before you go, try to think who else you can visit while you are in that facility. And while you're there waiting for a meeting, or you already finished with your main meeting, just go and try to see people that you know in that facility. Because you never know when will be next time when you come back. But you can maximize your time while you're already there, physically present there, and you can see and meet people, and you can talk, and maybe some new information and new opportunities will reveal themselves to you. And tip number 5, let's say you had meetings planned or procedure planned and it got canceled, and your day is not going according to your plan at all. So what I suggest to do in that case for increased efficiency, productivity, and time management, let's say nothing goes according to your plan. What do you do in that case? I take a short break, maybe a lunch break, or maybe it's a breakfast, depending on where you are in the day. I take a short break. I try to remove myself from work. I have maybe an hour just to enjoy my food or coffee, or maybe make a phone call to a friend, depending what it is. And then I sit down and I write down everything I need to do as a backup plan in order to solve an issue that happened, or how can I reschedule the meeting with the person I tried to meet today, or what do I need to do alternatively to this procedure in order to achieve my goal in the future. So as soon as I write it down and I have a few steps, real steps that I can make, it makes me feel more productive. It makes me feel that I didn't waste my day, or I didn't waste my time today, even though things did not work as I planned, but I have alternative plan. And even if something didn't go well and the opportunity is lost, for example, writing down alternative steps and what else can be done, or what's next on my list, the next opportunity, helps me staying positive and productive instead of feeling defeated or unhappy or feeling guilty that I didn't achieve something. It definitely helps, and it moves me towards my next goal, my next target. So I strongly recommend to write alternative steps. So yeah, those were my 5 tips for better time management and higher efficiency when it comes to medical sales. As a quick recap, number 1, prioritize based on time urgency and monetary reward. Number 2 is dedicate 1 day per week for your organizational tasks. It doesn't matter if it's Monday or Friday, or it fluctuates based on your schedule. It doesn't matter. It has to be just 1 day dedicated for writing your plans, following up, or proper preparation for the future meetings and projects. Number 3, if you can reply and respond to a request now, do it now. If you can't and you need more information, write it down. Always write it down, so otherwise you will forget. Number 4, Always maximize your time in the facility you already made trip to. If you're in a hospital or a clinic, try to see as many people as possible on that day, because you never know what other opportunities or other things you may uncover while you are there. And number 5, if your day did not go according to your plan and things got canceled or things didn't work, instead of beating yourself up, take a short break to reset and then write down specific steps you can make this week or maybe tomorrow or even today, but specific steps. What can you do and what alternative plan you have? That will allow you to feel better and feel in control of the situation. I hope those tips were helpful for you. All the best to you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.